The AAPL Constituency Podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome to the AAPL Constituency Podcast, the voice behind the industry, hosted by Hyde and Eddie Wilson. This podcast tells the real stories shaping private lending, from lenders and innovators to policymakers and investors. Each episode dives into the people, moments, and ideas driving the future of real estate finance. Tune in and hear the voices behind the industry. Our podcast is brought to you by CV3 Financial Services, the unconventional lender built to help brokers win more deals. Whether your clients are looking to buy and hold, fix and flip, build from the ground up, or pull cash out to fund their next move, CV3 Financial can help with financing in 47 states. Visit cv3financial.com/AAPL to learn more. Today on the podcast, we actually have a very unique guest, and so grateful that you decided to join us today. But it's not just one guest. As you can see, it's actually two. And this is Mike and Allison Tedesco. And if you have been in the industry at all, you know that Mike has been just one of the pillars and innovators in the space. But what you may not know is what the backbone is behind the man and the person that's pushing and prodding, as she said just a second ago, to make sure that a lot of the pivoting and the dreams and all the aspirations come true. So what we thought would be interesting is just to get us all on the podcast today, not to hear Mike and I talk, but a little bit different, to hear Linda and Allison talk a little bit more about what does it take to be successful, to make pivots, to shift, and to support the visions of those that you guys are in partnership with. And partnerships are one of the most powerful things in the world when they're done right. When they're done wrong, they can be the hardest thing in the world. But I think Mike and Allison have shown what a real amazing partnership looks like. So appreciate you guys. Appreciate all that you've done for the industry, both of you for sure. And so I'll turn it over to Linda to maybe ask some questions of Allison, and we'll kind of talk through all this.
Yeah, so first, thank you guys for coming and joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Really wanted to talk to you guys about, as we've talked about pivots in your professional career. And as I said, Mike has done really well at that. And he said you're behind that. So looking to talk about some of the things that you guys have done.
Have you always been behind it? I mean, can we go back to the attic story where you started Appraisal Nation? Can we go back to that story? Way back. I want to know. I've heard Mike tell the story from stage how he started Appraisal Nation from the attic. You know, I want to know, where's Allison?
Oh yeah, let's start this.
That was probably one of the most terrifying moments in our life. He said, "Hey, if this happens, if he cuts my salary, I'm starting my own business." And I was like, no, you're not. And he did. And we walked outside of the office and he said, "That's it, I'm done. We're going to start my own business." And it was terrifying. We had 3 kids and we had no money, and we started in the attic of our house. And this guy, he was gone, constantly trying to get clients door to door, old school sales, trying to pay bills, and it was terrifying. And so no, I was not about the pivot life then. Yeah. Not at all. I thrive on security, and that was not secure at all. We had no idea what we were doing, and it was scary.
I believe if it's not worth taking the risk, if the risk isn't great enough, it's probably not worth doing. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of risk at that point. You know the story basically. A gentleman, I came in and I ran a divisional appraisal management company for a region, 5 states, and he gave me a commission contract. And then I actually did so well that I was making too much money and per him. And I said, "Well, I'm under contract." And he goes, "Yeah, I just didn't think you'd make this much money." And I said, "Well, if you cut my contract, I'll walk out tomorrow." I'm a big believer of your yeas are yeas and your nays are nays. And if that's what we've agreed to, that's what we're doing. And you support the people behind you. And at that time, I was young. I was 29 years old. I didn't know. And it was really, I started Appraisal Nation almost out of spite. Like I walked into her and I said, "I'm going to ruin this guy." And I said, "He wants to be like, I'm going to ruin this guy." And we spent, what we didn't know, we started in 2007, the beginning of 2007. Yeah. And the first few months were great. And then all of a sudden one day, just no orders came in.
Yeah.
And what happened? And we call our people and they're like, "We don't have any." And then sure enough, we find out about the market crash, and we end up going through the market crash. And we had no less than 50 to 100 people who at one point said, shut it down. It's not going to work. Close it down. My partners who I brought in, I said, hey, come in with me. I'll make you guys partners. Let's do this. And they did. Even their wives were like, hey, we have to shut it down. One of them actually left. He said, I can't do this. We took 3 paychecks?
3 paychecks.
3 paychecks in 2 years to get it off the ground. I worked a flea market on weekends selling football jerseys because it was the only source of income we could have. Our house was in pre-foreclosure. Twice. Yeah. Luckily, because I was a veteran, we were very fortunate that Chase ended up developing a program during that market crash that veterans could get modified. And it saved our home. But we did every struggle you could think of. So when I say about the risk, there was a risk beyond that. All of that said, the only one person who never said shut it down, the only one person who said, you got this every single morning was her. And it wasn't just that business. It was the business of our family. I would drive 3 hours a day from Raleigh to Charlotte every single day, going door to door, knocking with lenders. And I would say, hey, you want to go to lunch and talk about maybe some business? And they're like, we don't have any business. I'm like, well, then it's easy to go to lunch here.
Then you have time.
And that's how I built my relationships. And then finally, when the orders finally came, then I had relationships, but that took years to establish. Looking now, and in our best year, I think was 18 or 19, we were just under 100 million. And you look at that number versus when we started at 07, you couldn't have fathomed that number. But that took years of growth and scale and relationships. And more importantly, it took time. It took time away from my family. It took time away from Allison. And she managed and covered everything. It also led to a lot of growth. I got to grow. I got to learn. I got to learn from you. I got to learn from a lot of wonderfully talented people. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life through my 20s, through my 30s. I was 40 years old going, I don't know what I want to do with my growth. And it was probably, maybe the last 6 or 7 years, I really figured out that it's the building, the scaling, the exiting, the pivoting that I love. I love that part of it. But you have to have a team. And she's been an amazing team.
I love that.
Yeah.
The team is so important, but I think the team that we often miss out on is the family team. It's so great that you said the business of the family team. And how powerful is that? And we've seen that in your life. I'm curious, to hear your take on it. I'm just jumping in.
No, I'm not surprised. It's normal.
But it's interesting because I watched you build a relationship with your brother. The amount of times I saw you on the road and you guys would go golfing, always spending time. But also I've seen Allison at, show after show after show. And so, it's been very apparent that relationships are really important to both of you.
Yes.
How important is the relationship to the success that is happening today?
It's the only thing that's important. It's what you fall back on. It's the only thing worth developing. I took it from him. When he went out, and this is going back, when you went out to Charlotte and constantly lunches and dinners, and I didn't understand it. And he said, look, I'm building a relationship because that is the foundation of our business. And it's really rubbed off on me to learn to grow these relationships. I think it's vital to businesses, and any business that we have going forward the relationship has always been the center point of what we're doing.
And it's not just real estate. We can jump around to everything else we do. We operate a third-party company in India because we had such a strong relationship with friends in India that we were able to give a support system and start that. We have a med spa service that we offer because we were able to build a relationship with a friend in California and start that. We have the gyms. You remember that relationship with you bringing me in to have those conversations, and I've gotten to build those relationships with Bucked Up and create the gyms. Those things don't happen without the relationship.
Yeah. So good. I'll leave space for you to answer. You ask some questions.
I think the relationships are important. That's how we've met, right? So I remember we were talking the other day. I was going through all the old pictures and looking at old conference stuff when I was doing my video. And I was telling Mike, I found pictures of him and John.
Oh, wow.
The first time I met them, as they both walked up to me at the registration desk. I was working registration because it was just me and one other person running the whole conference.
Right.
And they were arguing. And I thought, who are these guys? And they're rolling back and forth.
I'm not surprised.
And they were arguing with each other. And I was sitting here watching them just argue, like just staring at them until they stopped arguing with each other. And then they were talking to, and they're like, well, we want to come to the conference. And then I met them, and then it's been history. Like, we built a relationship, became friends, and have.
I mean, that's been well over a decade.
Yeah.
11, 12 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think that's what we figured out. It's been around 11 years that we've known each other, which I've been with the company for 12.
Oh, wow.
So it's been a long time. And met you, and
Yes.
I mean, we're all family, and my daughter's wanting to come to college down there, and I trust that she's going to be in your guys' backyard, and I have you guys down there. So
I think it's vital to have a circle of people that you can trust.
Absolutely.
And working on those relationships constantly through shows or podcasts or, dinners or whatever. It's vital to your success.
I think we all know that ultimately we're in a business, and these are all businesses, and we're trying to fund businesses, and the purpose of businesses are to make money, and we get that.
Right.
I think I look at it as that's the ending byproduct, though.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like, I think that if you build a strong enough relationship and you have a good enough product and there's a need, the money comes. Like, I've never been really good at watching the dollars and cents. She'll tell you.
I tried to keep a straight face.
Tell us more, Allison.
I think my host could tell you more about
There's a reason we get free rooms.
That's never been a concern of mine. I grew up, I like to say humble, but the reality is dirt poor, right? My childhood story. My mom was a drug addict. She ended up overdosing. I moved out on my own when I was 16. I never graduated high school. Because I didn't have anything, I have a different take. I know there's some people like, I've never had anything. I'm going to hold on to everything. I look at it as, I've never had anything. I know what that's like. I could do it again.
Right.
You know what? Take it all from me. I'll do it again.
Figure it out.
Right? Yeah. I will figure it out again. I know I can. That's the one thing. I think once you realize, and a tip I learned from Andrew, one of your partners, is once you know how to make money, you'll always know how to make money. So that's never been the concern of mine. You have to protect money, you have to keep money, you have to learn how to make it. You figure those three things out and you're great. And I think we figured those out for the most part. Yeah. But the thing that's not looked at in all three of those are you have to have strong relationships and you have to build them. And that word is so much more important on an interpersonal level with each person. It's not just the relationships of Lyndon and I or you. It goes deeper, right? It's every person in that company. And that's what makes a successful company. Appraisal Nation was successful because I knew every single employee. I knew their children. She would buy Christmas presents for our employees' children's. On top of any Christmas bonus or anything else, she would go to Target or Walmart with our personal money and buy them presents. Because we wanted to let them know that we personally cared.
Yeah. To kind of share the story that I remember the first time playing Topgolf with you and John. That was the first memory I have. It was Topgolf. You had run in Topgolf. Yep. And I remember John, and he would give everybody a hard time, but you guys would go at it, and I didn't know you were brothers. So I thought, ooh, two guys. It's like, and John, literally, every swing I would take, John would throw money down on the ground and go, bet you can't, every time, who is this guy? I didn't know. And then these two would go at it. And then Linda finally, I go, Linda, where did you find these guys? She was like, they're brothers. I was like, oh. This makes so much more sense now.
Because I thought they were hilarious. I met them and we instantly connected. I was like, these guys are funny. So then I started bringing them into everything.
Hilarious for a while.
We had a blast. I've always found them. I have so many stories between John and Mike that I probably can't share, but that's a whole other story. But the thing that other than the first Topgolf, the thing that I remember the most, Mike, was we were standing at one of the conferences, early conferences, and I have such a heart to give and the orphanages and the feeding centers. And you were like, hey, yeah, you were like, Tom, you're like, I just bought these sleeping bags. And we went out, we were getting homeless people sleeping bags in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, oh, okay, I want to be friends with you. You know, because like to me, that was where our heart was like, yeah. And I was just like, oh, I mean, like when you see somebody who gives, like, it's like my heart is so connected to that I really appreciate that about you guys.
I blew up at a restaurant, which I shouldn't have. We were at George, we won't say St. George, whatever, the restaurant or the steakhouse. And there was a Wagyu beef, which I guess is pretty common now, but this was years ago. And it was $400 or $500. And I remember thinking, I just walked past 3 homeless people to have the opportunity to have this steak. And I was so aggravated with the waiter for recommending it. And I said, do you not realize and then Jeff with RCM was within, he had to give me one of those. Okay. Who's the waiter, Mike? he didn't write
He's
the memo.
not against you.
He didn't write So I went home and told Allison about this, and she's like, do something about it. And I'm like, what can we do? And she just got on. She's like, we can buy sleeping bags next time you're there. So we bought, was it 500, 1,000? Yeah, we bought 500 or 1,000 sleeping bags. And then they all shipped to the hotel. Yeah. We got an Uber. And it's amazing the way that God puts people in your life exactly at the right time. Any other Uber driver would have been like, I'm not taking these boxes. I'm not doing this. This guy, I pull up all these boxes, like, what are you doing? And I was like, I wanted to find homeless people to give these to. Without hesitation, he turns off the meter. He cancels the ride. So I'm like, oh, he's canceling on me. And he's like, and he starts putting them in. I go, you just canceled the ride. He's like, I got a spot. He goes, me and my sons, we bring water to this one spot every weekend.
Wow.
Nowhere else would I have found that person at that time. And I got to build a relationship with him, and and within 20 minutes, we were able to give out every one of those sleeping bags and do such a small part. I'm very, very blessed that I always say God helps those who help themselves. And I've worked very hard to help myself. But he does so much more for us. He's put Allison in my life. He's always puts the right people in my life. He's put you in my life. So we've been very lucky.
Yeah. I love that. And I love, I love that you said earlier, you said, I'm in business to make money. It's like, but I very much am a believer in cause capitalism. It's like, we live in the greatest country in the world. We have the greatest opportunities in the world. And it's like, and if it stops with, well, okay, I just made mine, and it never goes to impact somebody else, it's like, what are we doing? And so like, when you told me that story, that was the first one I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to get to know him. I mean, like, and the crazy things that we've been able to do over the years and just spend time together. We usually go to a football game every year. We didn't go this year.
I know.
But usually we do that every year, and it's so much fun. But, and then what I appreciate, and I'm sure that you guys have done this a lot, but it's like, I always feel like if you bring somebody into the relationship, it's somebody really strong that I immediately trust. Same thing with Linda. If Linda says, you have to know this person. And so I wouldn't have known Jeff Tesh if it wasn't for you. Like you brought Jeff Tesh into that circle, and it's like, and then it's just, you just add and add and add and add. And it's been amazing.
I think that, and there are people who are very tight with their group and they don't want to share. If you ever notice the dinners that we always host, I'll have 16, 18, 20 people, and it's 4 or 5, 6 different lenders. No one likes to have dinners with more than one lender. What are you doing? I love for them to meet each other and share those experiences, and maybe someone knows something that can help that person be a better person. And that's what we've been able to do is find ways. And I think you're really good at that too. I've noticed the way we talked about Aspire before we turned this on, and like you said, hey, I'm bringing all these people because there's an opportunity here for them, and there's nothing in it for me other than I want to help them. And eventually they'll share that and help the next person.
Sure. That's when I remember Allison the first time. It was one of those dinners. And I think we were maybe it was circa the very first year it opened up in the basement. And I think that's I don't know if that's around that time is the first time I remember sitting there.
All right.
Yeah. And, but I was very, very impressed. But yeah.
We're just rambling.
I know.
No, I think it's great.
One thing what Michael was saying, one thing he's really, really good at is he will always make room at the table for somebody else.
He does.
He is much better at that than myself. He will always, it doesn't matter who you are, will make room at the table. And I love that about him and how he, like he said, other lenders or introducing it into our group, our friends. But I'm always impressed that you will always make room at the table for someone else.
Yeah, but you always make the table. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's a partnership.
It is. What's interesting is I feel like every visionary needs somebody to put the pieces together. I mean, Linda's done that for me here,
Yeah.
and I feel like every success I've had has somebody tied to it that made it possible. Is that the relationship you guys have? You're the visionary and she's the one that puts the pieces together. Describe the dynamic for us.
So I think that I try to have a game plan. And I've learned, and you've been very helpful to me in this, in learning, hey, let's really start with the end in mind first. Let's build backwards. It helps me to put a better game plan in place. And then I can get, I don't mind, I talked about growing together and helping people grow together. So I will give away or very cost effectively get ownership to other people in a business. We have the Patriot Gym's bucked up. I now have 5 or 6 partners, and they all have 3, 4, 5% ownership.
Right.
But that 3, 4, 5% is a lot to them. And they see the big plan that we see, a nationwide franchise of gyms. And it's an opportunity for them to really be involved. One is great at marketing. One owned a fitness studio and is great at running the gym. One owns equipment and really helped us design the equipment. So I recognize what I don't know, and then I try and put those people in place. Once I have those people, then it's a matter of showing the logistics to Allison and saying, okay, I have all these people in place. This is what I'm trying to do. I need you to help us wrangle this. And that's what she does a lot.
I'm a wrangler, as a juggler, and at times a crier.
Yes.
And a beggar, please, more.
Yeah.
But as he goes on these new ventures, which I love, and his enthusiasm for growth is...
She loves, can I start a new one?
There's witnesses. So I like to put things in pretty little boxes. So he has this beautiful mind and he has a vision of where he needs to go, and I help him get there. So I wear many different hats every day. I'm kind of jumping around talking about the gym or the med spa or short-term rental, or thanks, Eddie, for that.
Yes. That portfolio is $20 million.
I love it.
That's what it is. But you're constantly jumping, because we have managers, guess who's managing the managers? Right. And people don't realize that. They're like, oh, well, you have someone for that. But I'm their someone for that. So I'm his someone for everything, I guess. Yeah. So it's a nice little balance.
My stomach for everything.
It's a nice balance. I don't have a mind for business, but I have a mind for organization and taking chaos and placing it where it needs to go. Kind of keeping him on track.
Yeah.
Keeping him balanced, which is what we're checking out.
I'm trying, yeah.
I will look at things, and I'm going to respectfully disagree with her. I don't have a mind for business.
I don't.
That's what I'm disagreeing with. I think everything you mentioned is actually the mind for business that I don't have, that I need. And I think you need every one of those traits. And I think that there's more. You have, I fell into the CEO role of Appraisal Nation simply because I was the sales guy and we were starting it. And when we sat down at the table and I said, this is what I want to do, that's where they put me. But over the years, I think that's definitely my natural role. I think a CEO is the visionary. And I see those visions a little clearer. I can look at a room and say, I see it this way immediately. And someone else looks at it and goes, there's not even a stick in the ground yet. Right? I think you and I are good at that. Allison's like,
I'm not.
I need to see it on paper. And then if I show her a schematic, I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
Like, I need to see pictures. I need to see. So everyone has a different, but her organizational skills, that's essential for what we do, especially when you're doing so many different businesses. Yeah. I mean, I think we have 17 LLCs right now. And we actually touch every one of them at one point, so that's difficult. You, when you were running all of your multitude of businesses, had a very good system where you didn't have to actually touch everyone. I wish I had that.
Yeah. I think that it's like we scale to the degree we're organized, because what happens is like a visionary, you can grow something. Like, we can create growth, but that doesn't mean that it's growth without chaos. The chaos then brings pain, right? And then the pain only subsides when somebody organizes the chaos. but then it also gives us a platform for growth. So it's like this weird, like, stepping stone.
Yes.
And that's what I've seen in your guys' life. You know, it's like, and until you get it organized, there's pain, there's frustration, there's chaos, there's friction. It's like, but then you organize it, and it's like, oh, okay, we can go further. And so it's, you'll never lack growth because you're a visionary. You created it. It's who you are. But it's like, it's the chaos that then gets pulled in that allows the real power. You know, it's like, you look at like Elon Musk or somebody like that. The guy's kind of like, you know, he's this visionary. He wants to change how we travel to Mars. And it's just like, but in the end, if he doesn't have a team, it's like he'll only grow to degrees he's organized, you know. And I see that in you guys. I see that in us, you know. So,
well, I look at AAPL. I mean, I remember starting that. It was you guys were fighting to get 300 people to attend. Now you have over 1,000, I think. Yeah.
We remember when we used to celebrate 300 people, and we now have 888 active members today.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've done a lot of growth.
Our very first podcast, you know, we remembered the old days, right? And it was funny because when I first came in, and Linda was kind of underneath a bunch of different random people that Mike had assembled, you know, and there was 60 members, not paying members, just members. And the first conference had how many?
130.
130 people.
First conference I went to.
And most of those people weren't paying, you know. And when I bought this company, the very first, the year that I bought it, the P&L before that lost $800,000. I took over majority, and we made it profitable in 1 year.
Wow, that's really impressive.
But that's what organization does, right? You put vision with organization, and it makes it possible.
I still surprise him sometimes with things. He'll be like, "How what is this?" And I'm like, give me a little. I'll be creative. I was telling him earlier. I was like, just give me something. Because I get bored with things. So I'm like, just give me something else, and I'll take it. And then he does it. I'm like, I don't really want to take it because he'll do something. You know, he's similar. That's why they get along so well. They're very similar. And so he'll have an idea, and I'll be like, no, I don't. We're not doing that.
There are times his famous line is, "I have an idea," and then it's always followed up with, "Now hear me out."
Yes.
In my mind's eye, I'm going through. This is how every single time, and every time he says, "Now hear me out," just a little part of my soul dies. Okay.
We always have to listen just to hear him. And I'll listen and I'll be staring.
Listen. Yeah. And I just center myself because I don't know what's coming. Yeah. It could be, hey, I want to change this paint color in the gym. Or it could be, I want to buy a condo in Chicago. I don't know.
Tulum, we have two. They'll be ready in February.
Yes.
I think you should. That's a good idea.
Well, it's being built.
We did those.
We're already done.
I said, I want to go to Tulum. She goes, oh, that sounds nice. I go, I think I want to build some condos. She goes,
literally, we went to Tulum, and he was like, oh, I'm just going to look. Don't ever listen to that.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm just going to look. The second day we're there, I'm at the beach. He goes out. He is, and he signs the contract in Tulum for condos.
Surprise.
Yeah.
I mentioned Dubai to her. She said,
Oh, Lord.
I'm just getting them with the plus.
It's getting really hot in here.
So wherever you end up on vacation is where you're going to end up having properties.
Well, St. Augustine.
Yeah. Which is beautiful.
Really, he just came for a mastermind and ended up.
Well, and you have the coffee shop to go to, right? So
Our greatest
I
patron.
really respect you. I truly do. But I might have to put a stop to this. Like,
Hey, I have this really great spot in Brazil. You guys are gonna love it.
look at his face. Dude, well,
We are going to Southeast Asia for New Year's Eve.
Okay.
And we have our first 3-week trip. This will be the longest trip and an actual vacation that we've had planned. And she's already said, you are not looking at anything.
It's
anywhere.
vacation.
well, let me just preface this. We celebrated one of my girlfriend's 50th birthdays this year in Portugal.
Yeah.
And it was a lovely. He left because he knows where
What a great place that was.
Okay, so we went to the Azores. Have you been?
I've never been, but I heard it's incredible.
Oh, it's insane.
And people don't even know it's part of Portugal because it's.
I had no idea. It's beautiful. It's a rainforest.
Property worthy.
Yeah.
So
I actually have a buddy that has a short-term rental.
So somehow he finds because he likes to scroll real estate listings no matter where we are, and he finds this great lot in the Azores. And so we meet the real estate agent in the Azores, and we go looking at this lot to put a deposit down on this beautiful piece of land on the Azores. Yes.
She stopped me. It was gorgeous.
Tell me.
She grabs my phone. This is the best. She grabs my phone. Like I'm just on it and I'm looking and I'm pretty intense. She must have said something to me. I must not have heard her. And all of a sudden she just takes it out of my hand. She looks and she goes, she sees real estate.
Oh God.
And she sees the
I know
property
where
and she
this is
goes,
going.
why can't you look at corn like a normal man? Put the real estate down.
I would much rather naked women listing options because he's just scrolling constantly. I'm like, Zillow, my God.
All I hear right now is that naked women are less threatening to you than real estate. That's what I hear.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think we all agree on that.
Yeah. I mean,
It's so funny.
his mind's already, I know he's already thinking about your Brazil.
I'm just wondering where.
I won't send it to him.
No, he's already,
Allison, I won't send it. I'll send it to you, and you decide if you want to share it.
thank you. Yes. I'll vet them.
She'll appreciate you more.
Well, I appreciate you guys. I know we're past time. Any last questions?
I have one
We missed
question.
questions. I'm sorry.
No. I love this. This is really what it's about, right? For our new podcast, is having a
relationship.
conversation. It's a relationship. Yeah, it's a conversation. So, what advice do you have for your earlier selves? Like, if you could go back and do something, what advice would you give yourselves? So, if there's somebody that is younger out there that's coming up, what would you
And
tell
you
them
both
today?
have to speak.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, baby.
For my younger self, I think it's taken me a long time. I'm still learning this. It's true with golf. We have a very high expectation of ourselves, and the reality is, like, we're not that good. And I think if we just gave ourselves a lot more patience and a lot more grace, I think that we would be happier. And to find more happiness would be helpful. And I think that that's probably the best advice I could give my younger self, is just to forgive yourself a little more. It's not that serious. You're going to get through it. You don't have to be that hard at it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
I think that's great advice. That is great advice. Yeah, mine would be not to have such. One of his favorite things is just show up, and I just started to just show up. Like you say, I'm at the shows all the time, but I'm always in the background. I don't show up. Like being here today is showing up. Yeah. But if I could go back, I would show up a lot more and not have I don't need perfection, and just kind of show up and wing it and see how it goes. And maybe not shoot down ideas as quickly as I used to back then.
We, if you think about the power room, we'll go back to the power room. I did a presentation, and I'm in this room, and there's always a piece of you who remembers who you were as a child, right? So this piece of me is thinking of, as I mentioned, who I was as a child, and this humble kid who didn't, graduate. And I'm looking out, and everyone's got these fancy degrees and these huge portfolios, which, by the way, Paul Williams, his apartment, I got into one of those.
That's awesome.
I love him. He's great too. But at any rate, so I'm in front of this room. They want me to do this presentation. I couldn't think of a presentation that I could do that would be worthy of all these great minds. And I went as simple as I could, and I went back to exactly what she said about just showing up. And I talked about how Cal Ripken, the Ironman, showed up. He never missed a day. He never missed a day. And you always show up. And then there was a point where we talked about the establishment of Appraisal Nation, and how I would, we would work 6 days a week and then still work 2 days at the flea market. Show up every single day, figure it out, make it happen. And eventually good things happen if you always show up.
Yeah, it's the grind.
It's funny you mentioned the power room, which was just a mastermind that we had a while ago. And really, it was during COVID. I just got tired of being alone, so we put together a group of friends that got together. But it was funny, the amount of billionaires and huge business owners in there, and they're all giving. And you know what's funny is I remember yours. And I remember Jeff Tesch's on culture more than I remember any speech that was ever given in power.
Oh, well.
I mean, Larry Yatch had some really, really strong ones like back then too, but it was like, there was something about that. And I remember for the first time, I had never heard the story about selling jerseys at the flea market. And you told that. You talked about showing up, and I didn't just show up at Appraisal Nation. I just didn't show up at home. I showed up at the flea market, and I showed up with the same passion selling a jersey as I did knocking on a door trying to get an appraisal contract. And I remember you saying, like, to me, that was super, super powerful because, you know, you sit in this room with a bunch of guys that, you know, egos kind of rule when you're at that level, and they're all proliferating about whatever great thing that they, and then Mike gets up and he's like, let me tell you the secret to success. And it was just, which is real. Like that's real, and real is powerful, you know, and so it was super good.
Real is powerful.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We did 52 or 53 conferences, and I think in 2013. I went to 50 of them. I was home 80 days. We talk about advice. The only other advice I could give, I wish there could be two of me. I wish I didn't miss that time away from my family. But I realized that I was building something bigger. Even then, I knew I was building something big. And to have her love and support and saying, I can see what you're doing, and I got this for us.
I got you.
Yeah, that's what a true partnership is.
I think that's maybe we'll end there. I think that's the struggle we all have, right? It's like we want to build so bad, but then you feel like you're missing out. You know, Drew Brees, you know Drew, I was struggling. I was at a conference one time, and I was sitting in the corner, and I had been the same thing on the road 50 weeks, you know, and I was sitting there just like lamenting over the fact that my son had a basketball game, and he came over, he was talking to me, and he said, let me show you how to change that. I said, you know, clone myself, like, you know, when you're an entrepreneur, you can't see out of it. All you can see is like, I got to show up, I got to work, I got to. And he said, every time you leave your house, he said, instead of making excuses for the fact that daddy's got to go on the road and he said, have your kids celebrate. He said, tell them how they make it possible for you to do what you do and let them celebrate. That changed my entire world. Like now I still leave, you know, I have a 12-year-old at home, and it's like, and I get to tell Maddox, like, hey, you make it possible for dad to go out and do these things. It's
Change
like,
the narrative.
it changes everything. And I've met your son, and it's like, I know that, you know, I see the pride that your son has in you. And it's like, I think it's because you made it a family, you know, unit. It was a family pursuit, not a Mike pursuit, you know, which I appreciate. I see that in you.
Well, you know, we go to these conferences all the time. How often do you see people bring their spouses?
Never. Yeah.
Right? Like I immediately, it's not that I want her there, and I do want her there. But in a lot of regards, I need her there. Yeah. Like she's essential to not just my success, to our success, to the success of many businesses. We talk about visionaries. I get very scattered, right? I have all these balls, and she can very easily come to me and go, okay, well, you have to get these 5 things done. And then halfway through the day, okay, well, how many of those did you get done? Where are you? Yeah. Right? Yeah. It's important.
So good. And by the way, I've seen him without you at conferences, and I would definitely vote for you being at the conferences.
Me too. Second vote. I agree.
I have lots of
I love seeing you.
Lots of late nights that I wish that maybe you were there. I'm just kidding. Actually, it's late nights playing cornhole.
Oh yeah.
Till 3 or 4 in the morning. But
that was a great night.
There are lots of adventures.
It was a good night. Yeah.
I call them adventures.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good time.
Yes.
Well, I
I don't usually make them so.
I love this. I look forward for this podcast being so successful for you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I look forward to us hosting one day. You and I hosting. Eddie's not available.
I think that would be that's a great idea.
Let's set a goal on that.
Yeah, I think that's a great
Mike and I had that conversation. He said he'd fly to Kansas City if he could host me.
too.
So
I could fly there too.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I heard there's great real estate in Kansas City.
that is not. We're not playing that game.
The Missouri side.
Yeah, on the Missouri side, not the Kansas side.
Yes.
All right. Appreciate you guys. Thank
Thanks
you
for
so
your time,
much.
guys.
Thanks so much for being a part of the AAPL Constituency podcast. Once again, thank you to our podcast sponsor, CV3 Financial Services, the unconventional lender built to help brokers win more deals. Whether your clients are looking to buy and hold, fix and flip, build from the ground up, or pull cash out to fund their next move, CV3 Financial can help with financing in 47 states. Visit cv3financial.com/AAPL to learn more. Share this and let everyone know about it, as well as comment. Let us know who you'd like to hear from in the industry. Linda and I want to bring some of the most amazing guests to you. Who would you like to hear stories just like this? Let us know, and we'll work on that. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Take care.